Hello, I'm doing a spontaneous video and I'm gonna do quite a few of those. So when I'm in the flow, and because obviously there's life outside of this thing that I want to talk about. I want to talk about these yoga gurus and also the manipulation and the mixing of truth conveniently to manipulate. That's my hair doing. My hair is very strange today. And to be able to navigate through this kind of thing. So first of all, I have been teaching Kundalini Yoga and I have been teaching in my own way, although I have obviously honored the Kriyas and the meditations, the actual so-called original stuff that was taken from real yogis that really lived that yogic lifestyle and really practiced and understood it, not by Yogi Bhajan, who actually didn't practice it and just packaged it up from what I'm hearing and seeing pretty much, and then created a whole dynasty around it, an organization which was also corrupted in many ways. There's a lot of information out there now, so please be open-minded. I feel that liberation is about being open-minded. It's about jumping out of old programs, and everything is a program and a choice, and we don't have to feel like we failed if we didn't see everything, because these people are very good at hiding things. These people are professionals at manipulating things and controlling people from speaking up and from creating a structure so that there's an inner circle which only knows certain things, and the inner circle is either also corrupted. There were some people around him that were also equally corrupted, and I'm not going to list names, but I will eventually obviously expose that. And it has been exposed on a fabulous Facebook page called Premka, White Bird in Golden Cage. I highly recommend, if you're interested, to even just tap into it and just explore a bit, because people are coming forward, people are sharing. It's a really well managed forum and it's full of information and links, and really great. Lots of brave women, lots of courageous people that have had enough and that also want to heal from it and also take the next step. So it's not about, going against or for, it's about an open forum, and that is really what we need. And as women in particular, that's what I am talking about the most. It's time and it's overdue that we are comfortable in speaking our truth, our emotions, our feelings, and to be able to feel that other women or men are not gonna disregard them. So all emotions are gonna be relevant, and it is okay that we go through times where we project onto a master what we really wanted to see in our father or in the world or in our spiritual perception of how things need to be, and that due to this perception we are actually, sorry, I thought I wasn't recording and just talking to myself. Ha! That's funny, because we all are talking to ourselves. Yes, I know. But we are looking at also the perceptions that we have and how we project them. And there could be a lack of having a good father or a spiritual role model or a vision of the world. It's very very complex. So I'm never going to say this is simple, but I feel completely that you touching into your truth and honoring it, you will find your truth, and that's going to be a very profound experience. And use this situation to reflect why not more questions were asked, and also ask it of the organization. Why are there patriarchal organizations? Why are there, as I was saying earlier, people that are in the organization that are either corrupted, there's a category there, or there's a lot of categories and subcategories, or they are too weak to feel they can stir the pot, or they are being controlled, or they are in denial, or they are invested in their own ego identity of being a mini follower and a mini guru as well under the guru, or they are caught up in finances, or they're caught up in an identity around being associated with a particular yoga lineage or a particular role they play in life. And waking up is never pleasant, really, unless we are very aware and we know that waking up is about letting go. Clinging on is not the way. Liberation is within, and every decent guru that really was awakened, not one of those wannabes out there, of which there are many. There's a whole site where they're talking about those people and what they actually did, and there's many that you wouldn't even believe that are currently quite famous and preaching a lot, and they're not living their truth. They're not living what they say at all. They are just creating the structure, making the money, having amazing people that are doing the work and making it look good, and then doing in the background whatever they want, which is often, unfortunately, a sexual thing with many people, women, underage, children even. So pretty bad. And in terms of when we are spiritually indoctrinated, it's like there's no good and bad, rise above it, and all these things. It's a lot of manipulation I have seen over my many years of being on this planet. Actually, it's irked me many times, even when I was in my 20s, how people will twist spiritual truths to their advantage. Saying there's no right and wrong is something of an awareness that only a truly enlightened being has, and to borrow that and then make whatever crappy things they're doing right is extraordinary. And this is also why a lot of the masters didn't want to talk, they didn't want to preach, because they knew that the world wasn't ready for the message and the information. If you have great profound information and it gets into people's minds and hands that are not understanding it, but they see, because they come from a primal level of control, and they come from a primal level of wanting to get something from people and create an illusion, they will manipulate that. So it sounds a certain way, it appears a certain way, and it's not to your benefit, and it's not from a heart-centered space. It's from a space of, wow, these people believe me, I can say anything, and they're gonna bow to me, and they're gonna pay me money to say this stuff, and they're just not even gonna question me. I love it. Wow. And the ones that question me, well, we need to just tell them that they're never gonna get anywhere, and that they're just not able to spiritually cope, and that it's their own problem, and that, well, they can't be part of the organization even if they've invested a couple of years or 10 years or 30 or 40 years into it. So it's a very deep spiritual quest to be able to, if you've been very enmeshed in something, to be able to let go, and to be able to not have your identity interwoven with some weird practice that has its roots in amazingness but has been messed up. It's like, I can't even, I mean, I could come up with 100 analogies, but I don't want to really make this a very big sharing right now. I'm actually going to do a lot more sharing. There's probably going to be 10 or 20 YouTubes out of this, if not more, because I'm very much here to empower women to realize that they have all they need within, and to grow that belief in themselves, which is there, and not to listen to anybody that takes that down. Anyone that says you can't question things, anyone that says you shouldn't feel pain, anyone that says you're wrong and I know so much better than you, forget those people. Yes, we learn from each other, but we don't learn by being diminished. We learn by someone who can see, this is where their understanding is. So let's contemplate the next questions, contemplate the further step from this, how we can look at it in a bigger, broader spectrum. And then we need to actually integrate that. We need to integrate that. We can't just go from one place and suddenly intellectually understand something, and then without practicing it in our everyday life, think we can go and take 20 leaps and somehow that's gonna work itself out, because it's not integrated on a deep level. It has to be actioned, it has to be sat with, and this can happen quicker and take more time depending on where you're at and how much work you've done and what your whole situation is, your birth and your soul journey. So there is no benefit to speed. There is no benefit to acceleration. It is what it is. And so in a timeless dimension, and again, people can misinterpret that all the way, but in a timeless space, there's only now. And every time you experience something, it's now. So it's about feeling your emotions. It's about honoring the emotions. All the questions that come up, write them down and ask them. And anyone who doesn't want to have questions asked, if you are around a teacher, that is just not okay. There's no spiritual excuse. And when they get angry, notice it's because you are opening up their facade. You are exposing them, and then they belittle people. They say, you just believe in gossip. You've got all these questions. It's just so, limited. And why do I have to put up with this? They belittle you because they've already figured out that you are worshipping them on some level, and they figured out that the group energy is something you love. And so to leave, you're not just leaving them, but you're leaving the group energy. And so you've got a lot of power, and people have committed terrible acts in the name of that, because it's become the new family, it's become the new tribe. And this whole tribal consciousness is not really where we're at. That's an old paradigm. We're actually going into a space of really finding the guru within on every level and sharing that and respecting each other. And that's not a tribal energy. It's not about going to a place and getting high on the music or on the drums or on the hypnotic teacher, because that we've done. What's the step beyond that? The step beyond that is to realize that you can have that sitting down, you can choose the vibration of the people. We are one, yes, but at the same time, it's still a human experience, so we still have to make choices. We're still bound by gravity, we are still bound by so much time, and to make choices. So I want you to really reflect on that and find out which of these teachings are preached and not lived, and which ones have you adopted that are actually not serving you, that are not making you feel alive in life, that are not helping you to move to a place where you feel really amazing to be who you are. And this is coming from all the childhood experiences included, because that's an amazing journey. It's an amazing journey that your life was amazingly easy or incredibly challenging. This is the unique spectrum that I see, or that I would call, of the universal unfolding, honoring it. Why do we want to be something else? So honor the pain, honor the joy, honor everything in between, and know that you have a unique place in this cosmic puzzle, in this cosmic union. And the more you can honor that, the more you will see the beauty in it, the learning in it, and then perhaps move to something else, or actually find its beauty and help other people embrace their beauty in their own unique way. Not with the eyelashes or the crown on the head or the Vaheguru symbols that are stolen, in a sense, from a Sikh religion, not understood fully, woven together with Hinduism in Kundalini Yoga, made into a package which in some way lacks depth, actually. A lot of questions I asked couldn't be answered, and I used to think, wow, I'm gonna find these out myself. And through my own inner dimension, I have had many answers, not through the books, and especially not through Yogi Bhajan's lectures, which I once heard in a teacher training and thought they were awful. And I thought they were preachy and ridiculous. They sounded like a madman was talking. But I couldn't say that because people were going, oh wow, and yes, and Yogi Bhajan. I just listened what I was forced to listen to, and then did my own thing, honoring the sequence of events, the kriyas and the meditations, and also seeing when I was teaching which ones would be right for the group, feeling that out, honoring that intuitive awareness. Certain kriyas just never ever were taught by me because they never felt right, and I don't know why. I trusted my intuition, and potentially he made those ones up. I don't know, and I can never prove that. But I would love to open a dialogue here about many different things, about speaking the truth, and speaking the truth about a so-called guru leader. You may not have had a guru, or you may have projected onto a guru. I've never projected onto a guru by myself because I have been repelled by that from the beginning, and I've got a lot of experiences of people doing this guru thing and what happens and how they actually never get better and how they actually keep suffering, because the cycle keeps going of you giving yourself away and the guru getting that energy and that worshipy thing, and then blah blah blah. But say when you didn't speak up about maybe someone at school, or maybe didn't question your husband when you felt suspicious, or a friend, and when you felt like you couldn't share your truth. These are all connected. This is the same idea. Where are you scared to speak your truth, but you feel you would like to, because your truth is valid? And if someone is honest, they will be happy to hear that. And if someone wants to evolve, they will be happy to hear that, because it gives them an opportunity to reflect as well. We have what's called Johari windows, which means that we can't always see everything about ourselves. We have blind spots, and that's where our loved ones come into it to help us see them and to help us go, oh wow, really, I didn't even notice I was unconscious about that. And that's true openness and growth in every moment, with your family, with your kiddies, with your parents, not with the ashram and the organization. Although if you're in an ashram and an organization, then how is that going? How is that sustaining you? And how are you dealing with your questions and your bits of discomfort? And when you're being told, oh, if you're uncomfortable, that's great, that's exactly what you're meant to go through, deal with it, basically. That's awesome. Oh wow, you had to give up your life. Well, that's great, that means you are a super cool yogi. That is just not true. It is nowhere written ever that to be a good yogi means that you need to suffer and that you need to be sexually abused because there's an exchange, or that you need to be uplifted by someone else. I have studied the true masters, and I'm not saying I'm an expert, but this has been something that I've been like this as a kid. I've been ridiculously curious about everything, and I trust my feelings on things. And the gurus that are gurus, they really are just gurus. They don't have these rules. They just want to live in their state because they're in it, and they really don't even want to teach. Students ask things and develop around them. Sometimes they have put up with that, but they are liberated. So why would they judge anything? Why would they feel there needs to be change? It just doesn't work like this. Again, it's this misinterpretation and a superimposing of concepts that suit an egoic, narcissistic personality to try to, let me just see what the time, yeah, I have to, or to try to create that effect of the narcissistic need within them. And in the guise of spirituality is perfect, because most spiritual seekers are very humble and open and often injured, suffering, looking for answers. Perfect subjects. So keep this in mind. Be gentle on yourself. I'm going to be talking a lot more about the techniques they use. They are very smart. They are very, very ingenious at manipulation and reading, that kind of thing. And I will talk more about what it's like to sit with these people, and if you remain there, how you're actually depleting your energy and your life force, and how it's never going to make you better. It'll give you an artificial high and it will drop you afterwards. It just is not a sustaining, healthy relationship. So have a beautiful contemplation. Know that you are perfect as you are, because if we were all perfect, like in terms of yogically awake, this would be a very different dimension, right? It would be weird. We all have our learnings. We all have our unique gifts to share. So share your passions, share your gifts, and let us women support each other, not compete. And let us also see which women are not supportive and which women are actually also abusive. I hate to say it, I never used to believe it's possible, but there are people in this organization, even in Kundalini, that are actually very blind and very limiting and limited, and they abuse people. They will tell you off if you don't do what they want. Unbelievable. What on earth is going on? They are like a male energy that's gone awry, and something weird has happened. I didn't really encounter this myself, but I have seen it and I've perceived it as well when I watched social media, and I didn't talk about it because I thought maybe it's just me, maybe it's my ego, maybe it's whatever. But now that I'm hearing the evidence, again, my intuition is confirmed. So trust it, share, and lots of love. You're amazing. We all are. But we need to realize it to express it on the deepest level.